Hey, everybody, this next part of our show, we have a guest on the line by the name of Joe Fala. Joe is a collegiate soccer player who was eligible for the MLS SuperDraft from just the other day, and he has some good news to share. Joe, welcome to Sons of a Pitch Soccer Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Why don't you let everybody know what happened to you for the other day?
All right, so I got the news about last week that I was eligible for the MLS SuperDraft. Only D3 kid in the Super Draft. So it was great news, and I was very shocked when I heard.
Nice, exciting stuff. So it looks like you're getting a invite to preseason with the New York Red Bulls. That is absolutely fantastic. Looks like is that your hometown club? Is that who you root for?
No, I'm actually from South Jersey. I guess my hometown club would be Philadelphia Union. That's closer. So, but I'm I'm also close to New York Red Bulls. So,
nice, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So a little bit about you, Joe. Let us know what was your journey like from a youth player, going through the youth systems all the way up through college, and now where you are today.
Yeah. I started at a pretty young age, around probably five years old, playing the sport. So it's been a long journey. I was always playing other sports as well, so I had to, take a couple months off here and there. So it was always only but soccer was usually all year round, a couple months off here and there. But went through it, played in middle school, played in high school. High school, I had a pretty good career for high school. Played varsity all 4 years, and then I got to college. First 2 years went a little slow, and I just worked. And last 2 years in college, I broke out, and here I am. So it's been a long ride playing club my whole life, and just going through the school systems and playing college ball at the D3 level, which is a pretty high level, I'd say. But it's been a long journey.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds like it. I noticed that when I was doing a little bit of research there, looked like you had done some, you had played a little bit for FC Motown of the NPSL. What is that like playing in that league?
It's a semi-pro league with a bunch of ex-pro guys that either played overseas or in the MLS or the USL, which is a couple divisions below the MLS. So yeah, it was very high competition, great guys to be around, very talented, and we had a great summer. So it was nice to be on the pitch with a bunch of guys that have played pro everywhere, all over the world. So it was really cool.
And
awesome.
If I recall, Joe, if I recall, you guys actually got to play the Red Bulls U23 team in a U.S. Was it a U.S. Open Cup match or a recent
US
match?
Open
Do you think
Cup.
that's really what helped get you noticed by the Red Bulls?
Definitely played a part, probably. That game was pretty crazy. We lost in PKs. It was for the first round of the Open Cup, and there was a couple teams. It was the NPSL, which is semi-pro, playing the U23 team. They're in the USL 2, which is a pro league, but the one right step ahead of the NPSL. So they had some pretty good guys on that team that have been signed by the Red Bulls 2 and Red Bulls 1 even. So it was a very competitive match.
So, Joe, in last week's podcast episode, I did kind of like a recap of some of the history of the MLS SuperDraft, and I looked at what has made players successful, and I came away with, coming from a big program, winning accolades, setting records. Those are the things that I identified in past draft picks that really carried over into the success in the MLS. And kind of looking at your history, you set a goal scoring record for your college, multiple All-American selections. It seems like you've got all the things in place. What do you think makes you such a successful soccer player, and what do you think is going to give you an edge as you work out with the Red Bulls?
Yeah, I think the biggest edge will be my work ethic. I'm nonstop working every day on the pitch, running, staying in shape, and Basically that and my size. There's not many 6'7" soccer players out there that can move around and athletic as me. So I think that gives me a huge edge. So we'll see where it takes me.
Yeah, I saw the stats and I'm like, wait a minute, did it say defender or did it say forward next to your name? Like, I had to double check that for a minute. 6'7" forward.
I was a forward basically my whole life. And then this past summer, I played a couple games at center back with FC Motown. And then I went to their combine. I was invited to a 2-day combine for the Red Bulls back in December. And that's where they got a really good look at me. And then they gave me the call last night to invite me to preseason. And I played center back at that combine. I thought it was probably an easier pathway to go as a center back than a forward. So I took that route, and here we are.
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, we're seeing a lot of DP and international signings coming in on like forwards, strikers, wingers, and yet a lot of reliance on domestic defenders.
Yes. So we'll see where it takes me.
It's exciting stuff. Another question for you. How exactly will you be preparing for this trial with the Red Bulls? Is there any type of workout plan or anything like that you've got going on?
Well, I've been running a lot, staying in shape, touching the ball every day, trying to, and I just got the call, and I'm pretty sure I have to report Saturday, and then we start training Sunday. So, I mean, there's not much time to do that much more training than I can do already. So I got a couple of days. I'm going to keep running, stay in shape, and just get touches on the ball to keep it with me as we go.
Awesome. Fantastic. What advice would you have for aspiring soccer players? One of the things we do here at Sons of a Pitch Soccer Podcast is our main goal is to grow the game of soccer here in the USA. And, is there any words of advice you would give to those who are coming through, either youth players or college players, to get that shot?
Yeah, of course. I think the biggest thing is working at it every day. I mean, the guys over in Europe that have been playing their whole lives, day in, day out, they're on the pitch every day working at it. And the past couple of years, that's all I've been doing. Working, touches on the ball, and just like that, I mean, that can get you so much farther. You've seen, what I've seen is the first at college, and I just kept working. That summer in between, going into my junior year, I just worked harder than I ever have, and it gave me the best season of my life. So, I mean, just keep working at it. And you got to love the game. Love the game, watch it, learn from it, and have a great IQ of how to play the game, and you'll be a great player.
So we always hear in other American professional sports about the jump between the college ranks or the semi-pro ranks and then getting into the pros. Everyone always talks about how much faster the NFL game is than the college game. Same thing for basketball. College basketball players got to adjust to the speed of the NBA. Do you think it's a similar type of adjustment when it comes to the MLS versus college, or some of the other pro leagues versus college? Or what do you think is going to be your biggest challenge coming up against some of these pro players?
Yeah, I think speed of play is a huge factor going into the next level. I saw it this past summer going from college to that semi-pro team, FC Motown. So, I mean, the speed of play is so much quicker, and the IQ has to be there. It's so much harder to be on top of everything. Like, everything's right on top of you. You only get 1-2 touches, speed of play, turn and go. And at the next level, it has to be there, or it's not going to work out. So speed of play is a huge thing in the jump. So,
Mike, what other questions do you have for Joe?
Really the main question I've got, Joe, is when you make it big time and you're starting for the Red Bulls next season, will you fly us out to a game?
I would love to. If I have the chance to, of course.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Awesome. Well,
I want to fly everyone out.
We appreciate that. Nice.
And I do want to end on, if Joe, if you have some like great story from either playing at college or semi-pro, or is there just like one soccer story that sticks out to you, either like a moment in your career or just a hilarious thing that happened with a teammate? Like, give us a little flavor of, what's entertaining for you, what you remember, a little more about yourself.
Yeah, I had a pretty good, there's a college near my hometown that we went and played. It was at their field my junior year, and we went to that field, and I had that game marked on my calendar for when the season came, or when the schedule came out. So I was going back into my hometown, and I had 100 fans, if not more. So I had them all come out, and we beat them. We beat them 2-1. I had both goals, and it was marked on my calendar for months, and I went out, I got it, me and my teammates, and it was crazy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so.
I mean, nothing like playing in front of 100 family and friends like pressure for you, though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm better under pressure. That's what I've come to believe.
That's awesome,
Nice.
Man. And any like superstitions or pregame rituals that help you calm that pressure?
There's a few. Just like every stretch right before the game. Always end on a good note, and just go out there, have fun, and play hard. Leave it all out there.
Awesome. All right, Joe. Well, thanks for joining us. Listeners, if you want to follow Joe, you can find him on Twitter at Joey Fala, JoeyFala. That is his Twitter. So jump on there, follow Joe, and check out his rise to stardom in MLS. Joe, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us and our listeners. And good luck to you, sir. We'll be keeping an eye on you.
All righty. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thanks, Joe.
You too.